We're a sports show. Retweeting the link right now to watch us live. You can watch us everywhere. You literally can watch us everywhere, and thank you. Appreciate that you do. We have NFL insider for Bleacher Report, James Palmer, here giving us the scoop on the latest around the league. A.J. Brown to Jacksonville, question mark. Is that a real thing? He knows a lot about the Broncos. We will have all-pro tackle Garett Bolles on the program, and some guy named Pasquatch. I need to know the origin story. I need to know Vinny Pasquantino on the program, and we're excited about all these things. He's, of course, a Kansas City first baseman. 3 home runs, 3 million home runs against Mexico, I watched. And now he's doing his thing, trying to get Kansas City back on track. So very excited to have him with FanDuel here on the show. Everything for you guys today, and I think it's so funny on the morning calls. We have NFL players all the time, and it's like, okay. And then when there's like somebody from a different sport comes and moonlights for the day, like this Vinny Pasquantino, I have somebody like Matthew Hamilton just delighted. I could just hear you on the call this morning as I was super gluing eyelashes. Is Hammy here?
Yeah.
Oh, and you guys, you and the whole company have a little bit of a pep in your step about the Pasquatch today.
It's always fun when we get to do a little bit of crossover, and you know, he is of all the professional athletes that are out there, I feel like he is as passionate an NFL fan as he is a huge Jets fan, and I think he's as passionate an NFL fan as we have among athletes. Oh yeah, his entire Twitter is just Jet stuff. Yeah. So so we're really excited to have him on.
As a player, is he on your fantasy team?
He is not this year. He was last year.
Okay. All right. Hamilton wanted this guy on the show. I'm excited to have him on the show from everything I've seen. And he probably thinks he can beat me in Pop-A-Shot at our local Six Flags, and he's wrong. Okay, let's. Are we having James? Is James ready to go? Oh, James is on the show. James Palmer, NFL insider for Bleacher Report, 104.3, The Fan. And co-host of 89 with Steve Smith Sr. I don't know how he is, but I see how you are. James Palmer, how are you?
I'm good. Steve's good. Him and I were chatting with Brian Hartline yesterday. Okay. Steve's wonderful. I'm great. Kay, great to see you. Everything's good. How are you?
What did you get Steve for his birthday last week?
Oh, it was his birthday last week, and he moved into a new house, so it's a double whammy. The president is coming to the new residence for Steve, actually.
Oh, I love that.
Megan and I are sending him a little something.
I love that. We've got a Bronco. It's in your wheelhouse. We have a Kansas City Royal on the show today. Excited about that. But I wanted to start with you with the Broncos and Bo Nix, and I'm sure I'll ask Garett about this as well. I've heard you report that he should be fully cleared by July. Should be, right? What makes Bo is the fact that he can move a little bit. Little shimmies inside outside the pocket. Any concern that the injury could force Denver to sort of change what they've been doing, manage his mobility?
Yeah, well, it's interesting, Kay, you're right, because they do think he's managed himself pretty well outside the pocket. They've given him the liberty. They think he takes care of his body pretty well for the most part in terms of taking hits, getting out of bounds, sliding, things like that. And him on the run, I mean, I remember having this conversation with Davis Webb, and he comes into this equation. Obviously, we'll get to that. On the sideline before a game last year where he was like, I think he throws on the move, on the run better than any other player I've seen. And that's the way they want him to continue to move outside the pocket. So that's going to be part of this offense. And obviously there's going to be some changes with Davis calling the plays. Obviously Sean still has a huge input on the way this offense operates. But this was, a big talking point in Denver because everybody was going, he's ahead of schedule, from Greg Penner, the owner, to Sean Payton, to George Payton, everything perfectly fine, easy procedure, Kay. And then he has a second procedure and it slides him back a little bit, but he'll be on the field in June. He'll be full go in July, I'm told. And so when training camp starts, he should be right there. But that offense, you're right, we should keep an eye on it. Garett can talk about it a little bit, my guy GB, but they want him to continue to move, Kay.
What is the Davis Webb of it all?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. What he did in a preseason game last year where Sean Payton handed over the reins, Kay, to let him call that entire game, and he was unbelievable to a lot of people in that building. I remember going up to Jarrett Stidham at that game afterwards in the locker room. I was like, all right, tell me how Davis did, because Jarrett started that game, and he goes, it was unreal. Like, it was unreal. And I think he was so good in that setting. Now, again, it's a preseason game. Let's, pump the brakes a little bit. Davis never called plays before. But because of that, and because of his intelligence and his rise, he was a finalist at 2 different locations. Honestly, a runner-up, really, at 2 different spots for head coach. I think if it was anybody else other than Davis Webb, I'm not sure if Sean would have made this move to hand it over. But I think that's the big part we're keeping an eye on and how different it'll be.
Is Sean, is there a situation where he just yanks it back?
I think that's what we're all keeping an eye on.
No,
yeah,
for
that's
sure.
what we all want to see. I mean, because handing it over in a preseason game, Kay, is completely different than doing it, against the Chiefs and later in the season. You know what I mean? You're trying to win the division against the Chargers. I think he's still going to have a say in what goes on. Obviously, he's going to be a huge part of the game plan. I think he's going to hear what's going, to Bo Nix. We don't have a lot of details about how this is fully going to go. I talked to Davis at the Combine. I don't think he had a full grasp of how all of this is going to lay out. But I think the mind is just too sharp for Davis Webb for them not to utilize that and not to be a big part of what they do offensively.
I mean, he must love him, and from everything you're saying, everything we're hearing, to do that. But there's just, I'm trying to think of how.
It's hard to grasp, isn't it?
No, it's just in the chaos of the moment, fourth quarter, I can't imagine. It's like, no, I want to run Jonah Coleman here. What are you doing? I don't know.
Yeah, you could look at it like
just
this.
Human nature.
When Eric Bieniemy was in Kansas City the first go before he came back, he ran their 2-minute, he ran their, end to half, end to game stuff. But obviously it goes through Andy and there's a conversation each and every time. I could see that being maybe a similar setup where, Eric's going, I want this, and Andy can override it, or Sean can override it at certain moments. But you have, the other guy calling it, but, Sean's always going to have his input for sure, I would think.
For sure. This Jonah Coleman I fell in love with the day after the first round. So it was Friday of the draft. I met him earlier that week. With Ty Simpson at a Buffalo Wild Wings in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
and so I met him, and I was like, okay. And he was talking about the Broncos, how much he liked the Broncos. And I was like, all right, I could see it. And I liked just everything about him. And then I got to really know him in an interview on the show on Friday. And I'm really glad to see, Denver's really embracing him, seeing what he could be, the stature. I'm seeing, a lot of love for him. How is he fitting into that backfield? Could he be the RB1?
I think J.K. Dobbins is still RB1. I think he's the Dobbins insurance policy. There's some similarities there between the two of them. I know that the Broncos thought that way. Some other people across the league actually thought that they could see some similarities. And not very explosive back, but he can go out there and he can pass protect, and he's a hard guy to see when he comes through the other side of the line. I kind of see him as that J.K. insurance guy. Now, here's a little story, Kay. I got to tell you, I was there for rookie minicamp, and we get a chance to go into the locker room afterwards, and there's Jonah Coleman. He's just grilled out like crazy. Huge smile. You were with him, right? You know the size of that smile. And he goes, oh, before we start, I got to introduce myself to everybody here. Shakes hands.
Yeah,
Jonah Coleman,
he's great.
Jonah Coleman with every single media member before we got going. But he's a confident kid, and they need some help in that backfield. And if J.K. Dobbins stays healthy, that's a great thing. If he doesn't, I think Jonah Coleman slides into a larger role.
Okay, so Bo should be back. Let's go to the other team that people seem to have questions about with the Chiefs. I have to tell you, I don't have questions about Mahomes. I saw him on that tee with his foundation that he does so much work for in the offseason that we don't give enough love to with the Mahomies. And this looked great. He looks incredible.
Yeah.
He's walking. From everything I can see, I'm excited. I don't have concerns about this. There are some holes, though, on the team. Are they done? Do you think they make another move? And what are those little spots that you think that they could?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they made the big move for Kenneth Walker. I think him and Eric Bieniemy coming back, I think that might ease a little bit of the beginning portion of the season on Patrick Mahomes, right? Let's run the ball a little bit. I don't think the schedule makers, by the way, were like, let's have the Chiefs, who've been in every AFC Championship game outside of last year, and the Broncos, who were in the AFC Championship game, square off week 1, and we're going to have Jarrett Stidham versus Justin Fields. I don't think that was going to be the plan. So I see Patrick being out there. I mean, how does the offensive line come together? You maybe got a steal in the first round at left tackle last year, but then goes MIA for a minute there. And can you get the offensive line exactly where you want it to be? I think the interior of the defensive line has been something that they've been kind of really keeping their eye on as well. And they're rebuilding their entire secondary. I think they're really relying on Steve Spagnuolo and the coaching staff of that secondary to really bring this group along very quickly. And so obviously you get a top corner in the draft, but I think defensively, in terms of that interior of the defensive line, is someplace that you do have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I saw that I've been trying to get Cam Jordan there for the longest.
You're working the phones?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you should, yeah.
I want a ring for him.
Chase a ring for Cam.
And he
was
I don't know, I have to do the research. I don't know that he has ever been to the golf outing. but he was there this weekend.
Okay, we'll have to do. Oh, I like the way you're piecing that together.
I just think I'm like, what's going on there? Like, what exactly? But I mean, I'm looking at the like Hamilton's texting me right now, linebacker, defensive end. I would add wide receiver to that. Like there's a couple of places I think that they can still make some moves, and there are some free agents out there ahead of Broncos Chiefs Week 1 on Monday Night Football. Okay, so we've heard reports, James, that the Eagles and the Pats have the framework in place. Like it's just we're waiting, counting down to June 1 for this A.J. Brown thing to happen. Is he going to be a Jag instead? What is this Jag thing? What is this?
I don't. Here's the deal. I'll say this. Nothing can be put in place. This isn't like a release where you can designate a guy post June 1. With trades, it has to happen. It has to become official after June 1. Anything right now is just a wink and a nod, Kay, right, in terms of an agreement. And we all know Howie Roseman. We know how Howie works. He can obviously be, I think we should, get the negotiations up and going. And they had negotiations. They haven't really had any, to my understanding, like recently. But there's been some offers. There's been some talk with the Pats for sure. But if you think Howie Roseman for a second is not going to be calling every other team, and I mean not just taking calls, but making calls to other teams on A.J. Brown, I mean, you're a fool. Like, this is the way Howie works. He's going to try to get other teams involved. He's going to try to see what the best options he can get for himself are. And I think Jacksonville, there's been like, is Brian Thomas Jr. available? He's not available. Is he available? I've heard both behind closed doors, out in the open. Are they going to make some moves in terms of how that wide receiver room's built? If Travis Hunter's not going to be playing receiver as much, like, do you want to go and make a big splash? I'll say this: James Gladstone down there is like he's kind of like Les Snead, where you have to have him sit on his hands. He's always looking to do something big. He's always looking to try to make a move.
Okay.
And at the deadline, man, was he trying to make some things happen at the deadline? And I mean big things. They didn't happen, but he was trying to make some big moves at the deadline. So I wouldn't put anything past James Gladstone down there in Jacksonville, and I wouldn't put anything past Howie in trying to find the best deal possible, because the 27 draft is outstanding, Kay. There was a reason why teams were not dealing 27 picks in this draft. If you looked at all the trades that went down, teams were not willing to give up 27 picks. Howie's looking for the best pick. If he can get a 1, I don't know if he can for AJ, but if he can get a 1 at 27, that'd be
that's exactly my point. Like, if he can get Brian Thomas Jr. and a pick, not even a 1, it's just not better than AJ Brown. So what are we doing here? Do you know what, like, and then I wonder, like, I love Howie. Please, you'd say what? Please tell me.
No, I would say this. What Philly has done, and the one player I would keep my eye on, is Devontae Smith.
Okay.
Like, what I have been told this offseason is he has been a man possessed about, I am going to step into this #1 role. Calling former receivers, asking them about different things this offseason. I had a conversation with Nick Sirianni where he was like, we've just scratched the surface with Devontae Smith. Like, I think we can do so much more with him in this new offense. We can do so much more with him. And then they have Wicks, and they have Hollywood, and they have, I mean, so they've changed their room for sure. And they truly believe Devontae Smith can be a 1, but I mean, the more the merrier sometimes with Howie Roseman. But yeah, he's gonna keep looking around, even though everybody has it kind of written down that A.J. Brown.
I just don't think there's any argument that they're not a better team without A.J. Brown.
No. You're not a better team without one of the like 5 guys that's gone over 1,000 over the last 5 years.
Unless you can tell me they are. I don't know. Like, Warren Moon wouldn't tell me that yesterday. I keep asking people, like, is there a world with a better team? And then it goes back to, like, I'm just in my head, I'm like, how much leverage do the Eagles have?
Well, Howie has no timetable. That's the part of it here. Like, he is in no rush. Like, I mean,
so A.J. Brown's in training camp?
The start of the season. I think he's in a different uniform by the start of the season, but I think he doesn't have to do a deal at June 1, right? He doesn't have, like, deadlines are usually by money, and where certain things kick in, right, Kay? Like, those don't exist really within this contract. So, like, he can kind of give it a couple weeks and maybe a month or 2 and see how this goes. But I don't think they're better without AJ. I do think what they noticed last year is that the frustrations and what was going on was starting to finally make its way onto the playing field. And that's when things get a little bit different in terms of where you are with a player that's disgruntled.
I mean, that has to happen. And I speak just for the veteran, the 30-plus wide receiver community. Get this trade done, Howie, so we can get all my other boys signed, because they're waiting for that domino to drop, and then they can. Yeah, and there's a ton of guys out there, and we're going to get to those. Of course, another wide receiver news. Do you think it's ever been part of Jerry's plan down there in Dallas to give Pickens an extension? Like obviously, like they're doing that. If you had to put a percentage on it right now, how likely is it that he actually gives him that deal?
I think it's close to 0.
0.
I really do. I haven't heard anything from that building during this entire time that they were planning on giving him a contract extension. I really hadn't, and it's for a few reasons. They know, and George knows this, even though he can be upset with what's going on. He was an outstanding receiver, third in receiving this past year, and he was one of the best guys out there in football playing the position. But there was a reason he was drafted where he was drafted, because of Georgia. There was a reason why the Cowboys were the only team that was offering a trade for him, and they got one of the best players in terms of talent. Everybody I've talked to in the league, Kay, is like, he is as talented as a wide receiver as there is in football. There's no question in anybody's mind there. But there's a reason why the Cowboys were the only team that called, and they got him for a third-round pick because of what happened in Pittsburgh. Now, they liked what they saw for a year, but it's still a small sample size in Stephen and Jerry Jones's eyes. Giving that much money to CeeDee Lamb at the top of the wide receiver market, Dak Prescott at the top of the quarterback market, and those are three, like, that's a difficult thing to do. They even were having that conversation when they were looking to pay Micah a year ago, and Micah's on the other side of the ball, and just having that percentage on three players. So I think the $27 million in the tag was always kind of the plan. They think they could have the best offense in football this year, and I don't think they're speaking out of turn by thinking that, with CeeDee and with George and Ferguson and Dak, and if people stay healthy on the offensive line, and if they play decent defense, they're like a good team, like not historically bad defense, and they think they can do that. So I just think they need to see more. I think there's been some conversations about, like, what if we traded him, what could we get? I think those have been more frequent than a contract extension.
Well said. Can we get to some of these veteran wide receivers?
Okay.
It's a little matchmaker, James. I feel like you and I could set somebody up.
Oh, boy.
You know?
Oh,
I think
wow,
we could do it.
Yeah.
So let's take a look.
Could.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a free agent. You give me. I just want the team you think's the best fit. Who's our first one here? I think it's Stephon Diggs, right? Yes. Okay. Stephon Diggs, available, a free man. Like, what? Where should he go?
Well put on the free man aspect. Yes, he is. Like, what he did in New England was very specific, and it was kind of the same thing that he was going to do in Houston.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of a team that needs, like, he was great in the locker room in both those places. I know people in Buffalo were even like, man, I wish he was like this here. Man, I'm trying to think of a team that could use a little addition on the... I wouldn't mind, and this has happened because I mentioned what the Patriots did. This has happened in Kansas City. They have followed the New England model, in a sense, of bringing older players in to play with Patrick. I mean, I've seen that. Now, I know a lot of people go like Tyreek down the road. That's the done deal. There are so many unknowns.
That's our second one. We can show that. So you
okay,
would put.
let's get to it.
So we're gonna let's put. So I'm not gonna let you repeat.
I'm gonna give you my reason why that I'm putting Diggs, because I now that we see Tyreek, and I like those unis, by the way.
Yes. So we want to go Diggs to KC
because of just where they're. I just think there's some question marks about that wide receiver room, and I don't know if they all entirely fit the way Patrick plays. But anyway, with Tyreek, there are people that are still curious, and there's a lot of unknowns whether he plays in 26 at all. Like, I think that thought is still out there. So finding a landing spot for him is pretty difficult because so many teams don't really know exactly where it's at with such a massive injury. That's why I would put Diggs in Kansas City, because there's still a chance out there, honestly, that Tyreek Hill doesn't play in 2026.
And where are we putting Tyreek Hill then? Also the Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, load him up. I think here's the deal. It could be mid-season. It could be after, it could be somebody making a push. You know what I mean? There's like, do the Chargers want like him reunited with Mike McDaniel or something like that? I don't know if that's, but like they were looking at receivers hard. Like, so, I think teams that maybe are making a push down the stretch that want somebody to help them go over the top, and they're going to take a chance on Tyreek. The Ravens have done that before in years past with veteran receivers. I could see that being a team that's just going to, hey, let's just see, and being a team late. Let's say Baltimore. We'll do that. Baltimore,
interesting. So this next guy I have is, I'm going to matchmake him to Tyreek Hill's most recent spot with the Dolphins, and it's Deebo Samuel.
They need bodies. They just need warm bodies down there.
I think, but he's still, don't say that. I love Deebo.
They need players.
I just think they could use a veteran for Malik, a veteran presence, a guy who knows what he's doing, and I also just think, like, he knows the OC, him and Bobby have some rapport.
Bobby Slowick were there in San Fran.
I like the Deebo to Dolphins. Does that work for you?
I like that. I think you need to do something in that building to kind of, I hate to say this, but you're in such a massive rebuild, and John Eric Sullivan has so much on his plate in terms of, there's certain things you have to do to sell the locker room, right? Like, I think the Devon Achane deal is part of that. Like, you have to sell the room on, like, hey man, like we are still trying to win games here, even though this rebuild is massive, and you know Tyreek's not here anymore, and Jalen Waddle's gone, and Bradley Chubb's gone, and we moved on from Jalen Phillips last year. Like you do have to sell the locker room a little bit on some things, and Debo could kind of do that, I think, for you. Okay, I'll take that.
I think our next one, let's see who it is. It's probably D-Hop, right? Okay, D-Hop.
D-Hop's going to want a ring.
I caught up with him a couple weeks ago. It was just.
Were we at a fashion show?
No, we were at. No, he wants a ring. He wants a ring so much. I was in LA and he was catching balls from Joe Burrow, and I just know he wants to be in Cincinnati. And I know that sounds so counterintuitive to like. They're loaded on offense. Can he play, linebacker? Then sure, let's add him. No, I very much understand that, but he wants to and agreed to playing in the slot. He said, I will be the slot guy here, almost exclusively, which would be really nice. So, big slot receiver for Jamar and T. Lastly, Keenan Allen. Okay. I'll let you take this one.
Keenan Allen, yeesh.
I mean, end it with the Chargers, right?
You mean just go back and run it back again? And actually, it worked out better there than after he was gone for a year. It just did not work in Chicago. Then came back and he was actually a little bit more of the Keenan Allen we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the Chargers are going to play such a different style of offense, but he is dependable, specifically on third down and red zone stuff. Put him back in the Chargers. Let's go. I like that.
If he does leave, I'm going to say Commanders because they need another receiver, and he knows Anthony Lynn, and I would love that for him. Okay, James Palmer.
We're going to have him just sitting there waiting for Brandon Ayuk forever.
That's fair. That's exactly fair. You are the best. Thank you for joining us, and you can catch everything that you're doing on Bleacher Report. Congrats on that 104.3 The Fan and the 89 podcast with Steve Smith Sr. Thanks,
tell GB I said hello.
I will do that. And we just got canceled on? What happened? What happened?
The Pass Watch does have to reschedule, unfortunately.
How come?
I think, he's on a little bit of a tough stretch right now.
Oh, he's not having a
I don't
good
know
time?
if that's, I don't know if it's because of that, but, probably wants to get that straightened out.
Did he turn on the top of our show and see me being like, what's a Pass Watch? And then he was like, I'm not doing this. That's probably it.
It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. It's very exciting, but he's gonna come on soon.
Is he?
Yeah. Once he gets going.
You guys have Garett Bolles spelled wrong everywhere. Is it fine on the lower thirds? Okay.
That's what.
Got it. Well, that's such a bummer.
Yeah.
I learned so much about. Oh, we didn't even get to. I was ready to talk Street Fighter with James.
Oh no.
This is USA.
Well, next time. Yeah.
Amazing.
Next time we'll get some Street Fighter in with James.
Have we ever had Garett on the show?
I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
I think we had him on GMFB.
With the Mufasa moment?
Yeah. Yep.
Was that during during Good Morning Football? Yeah, right?
Yeah. That was our first draft, I think.
Back when we were like, just all the dap-ups on stage were like so scrutinized. The world has changed so much. It's so funny. But that was such a beautiful moment.
It really was.
Two babies now, yeah?
Yeah.
Cute. 3.
3. Wow.
Okay, Garett. Kingston, yes, what a cute photo. Okay, cool. We have Garett here. Heart out. Okay, great. Which one? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Don't ever doubt us again! Boom!
miss football so much. I just miss it. My next guest does that. 2025 First Team All-Pro. Congratulations on that, by the way. Such an exciting honor. You deserved it. You earned it. 2025 Pro Bowler. 2025 Walter Payton Man of the Year. How could 2026 be any better for offensive tackle Garett Bolles? How could it be better?
It can always be better.
I mean, what a freaking season you had.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
Just one step closer to what I want to become.
And what's that now?
I got to get a ring on my finger.
I know. I feel like it's happening. I feel like it's happening this year. I have a hard question for you. Which moment had you more pumped up? Exiting the field after that win against Buffalo in January, or this moment from the Avs game last week? Because this was amazing.
Everything has to be with my son, man. We share that moment of hockey together. And so bringing my son to the games, those are memories that you can't take away. You know what I mean? You can always have memories. And so those are the memories that I love and appreciate being with my son, Kingston, because obviously what I do is for him every single day and my family. So love that dude to death. And I know he loves being with his dad. So anytime I can take him to something, I always do. It's
beautifully said. Do you have any bold predictions for the Western Conference Final? Who you got?
Ain't nobody stopping the Avs.
No?
Not happening.
Are you going to go, hopefully?
Yeah, I'll be there on Friday.
Oh, amazing. Kingston coming?
Yeah, he'll be with me too. We share that little bond, you know what I mean? We like to go to the hockey games. It's fun.
Does he like watching hockey with Dad more than watching Dad play football?
That could be, I need to ask him that. That's a good question.
Because he gets to hang out with you. You're so far, and you're like, you know what I mean, when you're playing football.
He loves, for training camp, he loves to, run around with the guys. He's, the oldest kid now, so being around with the guys and the other kids, he loves it. He gets to come in the locker room. Everyone knows who he is because we've been there for so long, so... and then, when he sits in our suite, and I always walk over the suite, he's always, touching the glass with his hands and blowing me kisses and stuff and, flexing. And so it's we have a little handshake that we do, and it's awesome. And I love that kid. I have 3 kids now, so having Kingston and two daughters that are starting to understand football, which is just awesome. And I'm beyond grateful to just be a dad. I mean, that's my most prized and possession is being a dad, and I love my family to death.
Garett, I can't believe that you just said that Kingston's the biggest kid, because it's like it was yesterday that he was just a little peanut you were presenting to the football universe, and now
crazy?
That's crazy.
He's 9. He turns 10
No,
this
he's
December.
not. No way.
Yes, he is. Wild
to think about. That means, you're the OG. You have lots of advice to give. I mean, your quarterback became a girl dad this offseason, little baby Riley, who's beautiful, precious. What advice have you given Bo as a new dad?
It's so interesting because a lot of my teammates ask me things about being a dad or how to be a dad or what to expect. But Bo was one of those dudes that you just knew that he was going to be a fantastic father, a fantastic teammate. And, obviously him and his beautiful wife share that beautiful girl together. And, I'm so proud of him for what he's accomplished. I'm so happy for him. And, being a dad, I feel like you have a different, different challenge ahead of you in just football. You're not just going to football for yourself. You actually have something that you look forward to every single day as you go home. And when you leave your house every day, you're playing for the last name on your back, but you're playing for your beautiful wife and your children at home. And that gives you that passion, that extra edge to go out there and be the best.
It's really well said. Congrats to him, of course, and a wonderful Izzy, who I love and I hope is having such a beautiful time this offseason before you guys go on and win the Super Bowl, hopefully. I wanted you to I feel like there's such a special relationship, right, between the O-lineman, the quarterback, the bond. What can you tell me about what you noticed, what you'd like to say, what you admire maybe, about how Bo has handled this lump of adversity put in his way with the injury?
Yeah, I mean, Bo's a freak of nature. He really is. I mean, he doesn't get too high with the highs or too low with the lows. He's pretty even keel. I'm talking nothing phases this kid. You would think, if you look at him, you would think he's mad, and then all of a sudden he has a smile on his face, or you think he's happy, and then all of a sudden he's angry because he's not on that football field and he's not running with us and he's not practicing with us. And he's not doing the things that he wants to do. So I already know this time of recovery is so difficult for him, but I also know it's perfect for him because he can relax and focus on his wife and his baby, which is obviously the most important thing in his life right now. And that's just going to give him the juice and the desire to come back out and sling the ball like he did all last season. Obviously, we got new OC and Coach Davis Webb, which I know those two are two peas in the pod and know exactly what we're going to do with this offense. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what he can do. But the most important thing is he needs to get healthy. He needs to get right. And I know that he's doing everything he physically can to get that ankle right so that when it's his time, he's ready to rock and roll.
I keep hearing Davis Webb, young offensive genius, what he did in the preseason, obviously huge nod of support from Sean Payton, who's like, you know, not wanting to give up that clipboard, but somehow is because of Davis Webb. He's been with the team since 2023, right? Was there a moment in a practice or a meeting or in-game play where you're like, damn, he's good?
No, for sure. I'm glad you said that. It is damn he's good. I mean, that's really what it is. It's he's so young, obviously away from football. I mean, he just retired not too long ago, right? And to be able to have a coach that understands the game, but not like the old school game. I'm talking about this newest game that we played. Obviously, I was in the league when he was in the league, and now he can take what he's learned, you know, through so many different coaches and so many different offenses and find out what's best for him. And he's so smart with the X's and O's. Obviously, he went to Texas Tech, then went to Cal, you know, two prestige colleges, and knowing that, you know, who he is as a person, like I love him to death. He's such a good person. And, you know, to have a younger guy like that on the coaching staff that understands how we feel and our emotions and our ups and downs, he can control all that and put us in the best situations. And he's not afraid to drop everything on the line and let it rip. And that's what we need. You know, we want that confidence, we want that love, and we have that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does. I'm excited to get on the field in the next couple of days and get ready to rock and roll, and then, you know, get off for the summer and then hit training camp where we left off from last year.
Sounds like you trust him.
Yeah, no, I trust him. I mean, obviously, I love Sean Payton to death. It makes me emotional just to talk about him because I'm forever grateful for him and what he's done for me and my family and what he's done for this organization, this culture that we built, and the love that he has for his players. You know, all he wants is us to be the best version of ourselves day in and day out. And when you have a coach like that, you rally around him and you love him. Yeah, like he pushes us hard, and there's some things you're like, why are we doing this? But there's always a reason behind it. And when you ask him, he's not afraid to tell you, and he's going to tell you straight up. He's not going to beat around the bush. He's just going to tell you straight up forward. And you either like those coaches or you don't. And I love that type of coach because that's where I come from. You know, coming from University of Utah, being with Coach Whittingham, it's a no-nonsense type of thing. This is what you're going to get. This is how I'm going to treat you. If you do these things, I'm going to love you forever. Obviously, he brings players onto his coaching staff, players that he had with the Saints to bring back because that's who he is. He's a culture guy. And what he's done with our program, obviously, he wouldn't have just given up the play calling just because to give it up. Like, that's not who he is. He's super passionate in his job, and he loves it, and he puts 100% every single day into it. But he's doing it because he knows that Davis Webb is that smart, and that just speaks volumes of what type of man that he has surrounded himself with.
I couldn't say it, but Garett, I love talking to you. You're so, like, you're making me emotional. I'm not on the team. Like, what are we talking about? You are amazing on the field, of course, but it's what you're doing off of it that I really want to highlight. You're here with USAA. You were part, you know, it's not just talking, it's not just doing, you were there. You were at a special event earlier this month. Why get involved? You have local veterans, you have something happening on Memorial Day. What's going on, and why is it so important to you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Memorial Day is a huge, important holiday. I mean, I feel like it's a holiday that some people just it comes and goes. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, oh, it's summer, and now I can go get on the boat and, you know, go cook and grill. And, you know, why we put up a flag, and why do we want the red, white, and blue to fly high in the sky? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but the most important reasons is we have men and women that serve for our country. They wear camo, but they also wear that American patch. And to to go over there and fight for us on a regular basis. I mean, we wouldn't be talking today if it wasn't for those men and women that have sacrificed years and years and years and time away from their loved ones. Not only that, but on missions that we don't even talk about. And then there's missions that we hear about and the negativity that goes in between. But the most important thing is this. We have to love the real heroes. You know, I get to put on a uniform and a helmet every single week, and I get to walk outside and smell the fresh Colorado air. But a lot of people don't get that opportunity, you know what I mean, in other countries. We get that opportunity. And so this Memorial Day was something fantastic. I had an opportunity to, excuse me, speak with war veterans from the Korean War and the Vietnam War, which obviously my grandpa served in the Korean War. He passed away 2 months ago, and I got to watch the military do a whole service and watch my grandma get the flag. Makes me super emotional just to talk about it, because it made me realize how precious the military is, and watching them fold that flag and doing it so, you know, obediently, and the way that they fold it and all that is just like, it's amazing. And you want to understand, unless like you've been in that situation before, and I truly understand that, but we need to protect and love our veterans, and USAA does a phenomenal job, and I'm beyond grateful to be a partnership with them. I don't surround myself with people that I don't feel can benefit me, and know that my voice and platform, you know, obviously the businesses that I'm with is certain businesses because of the love and support that I have for them and what they do in the communities, right? I don't do things just to look at me. I do things because I truly love, and it's a passion of mine. And that's how USAA is. So when I got the opportunity to go speak with these military veterans to help them get ready to take their flight, to go see them on Memorial Day, to go see their memorial in DC, some of these people have never even seen it. They've heard about it, they've talked about it, they've seen pictures, but they've never seen it. And like, that just breaks my heart, right? Like, some of these people are in wheelchairs and oxygen, and USA, you know, there was doctors there and they were taking care of, what do you need on the flight? Oxygen, diabetes, whatever you need, food. It was so amazing to watch these families come in with just smiles on their face, that they finally get to go live their dream of making it back to the memorial and seeing their names and seeing what they've accomplished in life. And I couldn't be more proud of the military men and women that serve for us, the love I have for them. And I'm beyond grateful for what they do for us. Like, my kids want to be able to go to school and walk, you know, to school safely if it wasn't for these people. And we need to make sure that they're the real heroes, and the love that I have for them. And I'm beyond grateful for what my grandpa has done, but all the millions and millions and millions of other people that have served in the military. I'm a history guy, so knowing about the wars and understanding the wars, like, it can be gruesome at times, but also so rewarding about what we do. And sometimes, you know, as American people, we get frustrated with what's going on, but really there's a reason behind it. And when you truly spend time with the military veterans, they'll tell you that reason. And it's because we have to do certain things to protect our loved ones back at home. And my hat's off to them. I love them, and I wish I can do whatever I can to help them.
I think I think you are. I think the idea that some of these people who, and your grandfather included, I'm so sorry for your loss. And thank you for his service and sacrifice, as so many others, for you to make the time to sit with 50 service members, to people, veterans who have given us so much, to make them, to ask them questions, as I'm sure you did, ask a million questions about their experiences, about what they've learned and all of that. The fact that many of those service members have never been to D.C. is sort of wild to think about. And I think a lot of Americans think, like, how do I show service? How do I show gratitude? How do I honor these troops without just saying Happy Memorial Day, Happy Veterans Day? This is how. This is how. You go to USAA.com/Memorial Day, and you learn how you can get involved. Like Garett, whether you have a personal connection or you just want to, you know, pay an unfillable debt for the service. And it's a great reminder from you. So thank you, Garett. Thank you, USAA, for being here. And we'll talk to you hopefully next time we'll have a Super Bowl ring to chat about, huh?
I can't wait. Next time you talk to James, tell him he's a bum.
Okay, well, I'll tell him he's a bum. Okay, we went from like crying to making fun of James. Now we're back. Okay.
I love James to death. That's my guy. So we have a little. He comes in my locker room. We just have a little brotherly love. That's it.
I love that.
How's life with you?
Life is great. Give Sean like a noogie on his head for me next time you see him. Okay, steal his visor.
I will.
All right, you're the best. We'll be back after this. Thank you so much, Garett.
Yep,
so
take care.
funny.
Bye.
USAA has like a wall, of course. It's the Poppy Wall of Honor. And it's in DC, and like, it is crazy to think like you people who have never, don't have the means, don't have the whatever, don't even like have it like do I want to go and relive emotion like that? And then to have like that support group, it's so beautiful. And it's always something where like, people are always wondering how to do that. USAA is like so plugged in with the perfect people, like Garett.
Yeah.
To help kind of lead that.
Yeah, we're doing him a Mecca last week.
Yeah.
Or a couple weeks ago.
Because his parents are military parents as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Amazing. Do we know why this Pasquatch got canceled? Do we know why? We don't
know exactly why, but yeah, I texted you what it seems like.
Great.
Yeah.
I can't have coffee today. Can you tell that I'm like completely without a fastball? Speaking of baseball, my fastball has half left the building. No,
you're holding it together pretty well.
Everything's very slow. I'm like normal.
Yeah. It's not bad.
I'm moving around like normally. I got no fastball, zero. I feel like I'm slurring my words. Like I feel like I'm in like 0.5x.
I don't hate it. I'll just
I know. I'm sure you don't. I'm not a full cylinder. I'm not. My mind does not. I've not taken the. What's that chess movie that we always talk about?
Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, I've not taken the Queen's Gambit jar full of green pills this morning. I'm not clicking on any cylinders. So we're gonna roll back an old interview, guys. Because we don't have the Pasquale. I mean,
we'll keep it in Kansas City, though.
I could do. Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. I could do 18 on. Do you have any issue? Do you have any worries about Mahomes?
No.
I like grazed over that.
Not.
Okay, good. Right?
Yeah.
I don't either.
And I saw too, like people were upset in the schedule release thing about the idea of the Chiefs playing the Seahawks in Week 1 because Mahomes is hurt. He's not going to be. Mm-hmm. They put them on Monday night against the Broncos. I think that tells you everything you need to know. Yeah. He's going to be ready.
Yeah. Cammy sucks. Ryu sucks. Felong's combos were the best. That's my analysis. My next guest, the reigning Super Bowl MVP with lots to smile about, the newest Kansas City Chief, here with Oral-B. Kenneth Walker, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm great. I was just showing some of my producers. I have my Up and Adams to-go DOP kit because I'm traveling, and I have my Oral-B toothbrush in it.
Okay, then.
Yeah, but I know it's like not very fancy. Now there's electric toothbrushes. Tell me why I need this featured in my bathroom.
Yeah, I would say I'll start off with the Oral-B, the IO series. It really personalized to your gums, so you can get a personal, perfect clean for your teeth. And I feel like that's a great fit.
Okay, everybody has unique teeth and everybody has a unique story. You are a Super Bowl champion. Congrats. Congrats. Let's talk, of course, about the Seahawks and all that. But I want to be where your feet are, and that is in a pile of money after a massive 3-year deal that the beautiful contending Super Bowl dynasty Chiefs have given you. What has that been like to be in the building? Something that maybe from that intro presser in March till now, you've learned about the facility, something you didn't know.
Honestly, really just getting to meet everybody and how chill everybody is, how humble Pat is. And, I didn't get to talk to Trav in person yet, but, I've been on the phone with him. So, just meeting everybody and seeing how tight-knit everybody is together.
Do you think the stadium you're going to be playing in this fall might be a little bit louder than the one you played in last year?
I ain't got no say in that. But
I mean, you get to play your old team. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel good about that. I get to go back and see everybody from my team, but also, just being able to go back there and play my boys. And I think it'll be cool in a crazy atmosphere for real.
Can you describe to me the education or the vibe that Eric Bieniemy has already bestowed upon you?
Yeah. Yeah, just intense, bro. Like from the first night I met him, it wasn't even like we were just meeting up, going to dinner. He was talking about like stuff that I did wrong on the field and like just talking about everything I need to be detailed at. So I knew what I was getting into when I met him. And he want the best for everybody, but he got high standards, and that's good if you want to be better.
Did they let you meet him before you signed, or was it after?
No, it was after.
I figured.
It was like, yeah, when you sign and everything, you go and, go to the city and, try I guess the best food they had. So that's what we did. And, we sat down and talked.
What did he tell you did wrong?
He was talking about everything, just everything, detailed run game, blocking, pass game, like just everything he would just mention and things that he gonna coach me on and stuff like that. So
I mean, I think that's insane. You just came off a 1,000-yard season. You just won a Super Bowl. That's a little bit wild. And you're going to help the run game. And so is Eric, which I love. You're hitting plays for 10+ yards at the second highest rate in the league for a running back. I had to write that down. What that just means is explosive. That's what you are. Brett Veach has been talking about an emphasis on the run game. Music to my ears if I'm a Chiefs fan. What's it like to be the face of that?
It just feels good to be appreciated and wanted somewhere, the guys rally around me and, the coaching staff do as well. So I know they got high expectations and, I'm ready to carry that on my shoulders.
Every time you talk to Bieniemy, including that dinner, and really just kind of even just a guess if he hasn't yet, who's the running back that he has coached and been around that he brings up the most?
I think AP, that's actually one of my favorite running backs too. So I think that would be somebody he would show definitely.
You've done a ton of damage when the quarterback's under center. Like, I feel like that's your wheelhouse, right, Kenneth? And they use shotgun a ton in KC. What do I need to know about that? Any adjustments that might be made?
I feel like I could do both, but obviously my favorite is under. I feel like I can see the field better and everything. But, whatever system they want me in or, situation they put me in, I feel like I can make a play in anything, honestly.
What's the conversation with Patrick Mahomes been like? How's that relationship developing early on?
Yeah, it's good. We've been working on like getting connected in the pass game and everything. So that's good. I feel like I'll be used more in the pass game. And, he real good at like being detailed with the whole team. And yeah, I feel like our chemistry going to just keep building.
Patrick was texting Veach allegedly, right? About you during the playoffs.
Yeah. They told me he was texting every time I made a good play. They didn't think I was going to be able to, make it to the Chiefs. So
yeah, he's got a lot to say in that building. But how big of a recruiting tool is he? Is he the best recruiting tool in the NFL? How much did Patrick Mahomes have to do with your decision to go to KC?
I feel like it would have had a lot to do with it. He's the best quarterback in the league. So I feel like he got a lot of power in that. So I'm glad he does. So because I'm here now.
You win the Super Bowl. I did this whole moment on the show today. I'm seeing all these quarterbacks, Joe Burrow and Patrick. They're all at F1. They're all at the Derby. And Sam's nowhere. And y'all are and I really just worry as a friend of the Seahawks that you guys maybe didn't celebrate enough.
You think so? I feel like I didn't really. I don't know. That's not the type of person I am. I don't know what I would do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know, bro. I wanted to go to Japan, but when I had to come to the Chiefs, I had to pack and everything. So
yeah, and you had it worst of all because March, you have this thing and it's short lived, and then you have to bounce. But I'm like, I need Sam Darnold to have his like little New York Knicks courtside moment.
Yeah.
Like, his FU to the New York crowd for how they treated him all those years. Or like, I need USC legend at a Lakers game. Where's his Devil Wears Prada cameo?
Yeah. I feel like Sam low key as well. He real humble, he be chilling. So you feel me? I feel like he'll be acting out of character if he did that.
Yeah, you're like that too. The ring ceremony is in June, right? So are you going back for that? How does that work with you not there anymore?
Yeah, I'm still gonna go back because I love my old teammates. Just because I'm here, that don't mean I can't talk to my boys back there. So I'm definitely gonna try to make it out there. in June. You know more than me. I just found out about the ceremony.
I know. I just figured, what is that going to be like? And I like that. I mean, I think that says a lot about you. It's important to you. It's meaningful. It's going to drive you and motivate you for your new team. So Chiefs fans will love that. You earned it, and you still have a lot of great relationships there, which we love. And then you get to face the Seahawks, like we talked about, and it's in Seattle, which I like as well.
Yeah.
Listen, at some point this season, they got to lift. They got to make that game happen. It's got to be week 1, right?
Yeah, I feel like it should be early on in the season so we can get back there right now.
I mean, it's Wednesday night. I'm looking right now. It's September 9th. What do you think will be going through your head? Who's the first person you dap up? Who's the person you don't dap up? Tell me whatever you want to tell me about the Super Bowl MVP potentially being in the building for the Bears.
Yeah, I would dap up all my teammates, but that's about it.
Okay, say less.
Just like that, yeah.
Say less. I love that. You're the only person that can answer this for me. What are the Seahawks missing what are they missing with the departure from Clint?
I'm not too sure about the other OC or nothing, but I feel like they can make something happen. Mike is a good coach, and he can adapt, just like a lot of great coaches in the league, and years past. So I feel like they'll be able to adapt. They got great players still on that team and their roster, and they motivated. They're not satisfied with just one Super Bowl ring. They want more. So I feel like they'll still be a great team.
I need to know your top 3 Oreos before I let you go, because I know you're a fan.
Top 3 Oreos? Okay, double stuff is my favorite. But my second favorite is just the regular, because I put it in milk. Put it in milk, crunch it up, and eat it. And then I would just say vanilla is my third. I don't really
the golden ones.
Yeah, exactly, the golden ones.
Yeah, you lost me on double stuff.
No. Lemon.
Oh, lemon slap. Those are really good. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go mint.
Okay.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's terrible.
See, mint. What you feel about mint, I feel about double stuff. Double stuff has no room in a top 10 list.
That's insane.
The cream's different. It's not okay. I will say s'mores. Have you had the s'mores ones?
I never had that before.
I'm going to send those to you immediately to Kansas City. And then you'll have your amazing, and then the golden thins, like the vanilla thin ones. See, I don't like all that stuff in the middle. I'm not okay with it. But Oral-B makes a perfect teammate, just like you, who are going to brush your teeth before every single game and then after some celebratory Oreos after you score some touchdowns. What is the brush, again, that you use pregame?
Oral-B IO series. It's the electric toothbrush. Yeah, it's perfect.
How come? Give me your real sell and why I should go from my manual OG toothbrush to this electric one.
I really say just like the personalized, the gums, but also the timer that's on it. When I used to use a regular toothbrush without the timer.
Oh, it got a timer on it?
Yeah, but if you go under a minute, it'll have a face, it probably be a sad face. You go a minute and 40, it probably smile a little bit, but when you get to 2 minutes or 2 minutes, 30 seconds, it's a big smile. So, you really did your job.
Okay, I love it. You just did your job really, really well. Go show your teeth. Appreciate you, Kenneth Walker. Congrats on everything.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Eastern Conference Finals. Tip it off tonight. Madison Square Garden. Wish I was there. Wow. The Knicks 7.5-point faves over the Cavs. It's game one. So exciting. I might even watch. FanDuel's offering a 25% profit boost token on any parlay for this game as long as it has 3+ legs. And the odds are plus 100 or longer. Well, MSG action. Hamilton, I'm assuming you're going for the Knicks.
Of course.
Yeah.
This is the most excited I've been about the Knicks in a really long time.
They're going to win. It'll be them and the Spurs at the end, and I'm excited for that.
That 99 finals rematch would be incredible.
Just like we always wanted.
Yeah. They haven't played in 9 days, though, scares me a little bit because they're on such a roll. Like the longest playoff win streak in Knicks history, all that good stuff going, and 9 days off is a lot. I
love this Brunson. He's fantastic. Can't wait to see. Yeah, he's going to score. He's going to score 28 points tonight.
There we go. The Towns, the Devil Wears Prada bump is going to continue for Towns.
Didn't see it. I'm glad. Happy for him. Happy for everybody. And we'll be back tomorrow with gosh knows who on this very program. Thanks to FanDuel. Thanks to F and Adams. Thanks for watching.